Hey, Heloisa, good to see you once again. It's Aya Abdeen for Devils in Detail. You had 18 points today. What what was going through your mind when Marley Washington was giving you some advice throughout the game?
Um, I mean, I was doing my job in the beginning of the game, and my teammates saw that I was doing good. I wanted the ball, and they started to feed me. So they being able to trust me that I could finish the ball, finish the layup, and score for them and help them, defense or offense. It was really good.
Early on in the game, after the two missed shots and turnover, Molly Miller kind of pulled you aside, gave you a little pep talk. Just what was that, kind of talk about?
She told me that she trusted me because I show her everything in practice, the confidence that she can have on me. So she told me to keep going up because I was going to finish one time.
Your rebounding was much improved from the BYU game. Was that kind of the point of emphasis in practice?
Yes, we worked really hard on that. We had a lot of rebound drills. It was fun, but it was not fun at the same time. But we were really focused on that because we can never get outworked ever again.
With this being your first game since the first loss of the season, was there any extra motivation because of that loss, or was it just another night out there?
Yeah, like I said, on that BYU game, we were outworked by rebounds and whatever other reasons. So being able to come here and work really hard and show that we're the team that's gonna work hard and play defense and get turnovers to them. So being able to do that is really good for us because that's our identity.
How do you kind of continue the approach of limiting points in the paint? Only allowed 18 in the paint tonight after giving up a lot more to BYU.
I mean, playing hard. We knew that they were not shooters, so shrinking, helping each other on defense, that was really important. Communicating, so being able to match their physicality too.
Apologies for when I messed up on my first question. And when it comes to the conference play, knowing that it can be pretty challenging, how do you and your team take approach day by day in building that success? Not to mention that Sun Devils matched their last season's total win totals of the conference play from three last year.
Um, every day in practice, we focus on every detail. So when we mess up or do great things, we always communicate about it to be great, and not to only be great in practice, but to be great in games. So being able to work hard and improve every day is really important.
Molly,
I,
congrats on the bounce back win. It's Aya Abdeen for Devils in Detail. So the Sun Devils have bounced back. Not only that, but they also matched the last season's win totals in conference wins with three. What have you seen from the Sun Devils tonight, and particularly the improvements?
yeah, I think we were very intentional the past couple of days in practice. I think that was obvious by the way we blocked out tonight and rebounded. As a coach, that's really good to see because they're coachable and they're trying and they know they want to do right, and they want to fix some mistakes that we had. Um, the old adage is you don't lose, you learn. And I think we really learned a lot about ourselves and maybe where some weaknesses are, but we improved those weaknesses these past two games. So a lot of credit to this team. They were up for the challenge. They were very intent and mindful of what we needed to improve, and we improved in the past couple of days.
Coach, other than the foul trouble to your two guards,
Yeah.
what were some of the other challenges? Because if somebody just looked at the score and like, oh, ASU blew them out, but it was an interesting game as far as there was different challenges at different times of the game.
Yeah, I think we got a rhythm going, and then when Marley and Gabby had to come out, our rhythm stopped there for a little bit. It got stagnant. And then, little things. We were getting Elle the ball, and she was missing bunnies in the first half, but she had some stick-to-itiveness in the second half. I mean, she ended up with 20, and you would have thought, like, did she have that good of a game? Well, yeah, she played well in the second half. And then we missed some free throws in the first half, converted on some in the second half. So it's just when you face some of that adversity, whether it's foul trouble or not making layups or not making free throws, I've got to credit this team that they have kind of a quick flip in their mind. Like, all right, second half, all that's in the past. We got to focus on the job at hand. So they did a good job. I have to compliment last year Poa, though. We had about a 45-minute film session on where I really needed her to get better, and she pushed pace for us. She was intense on defense. I thought she was locked in, and she was really a catalyst for what we did in transition, which we got to have a transition game to open up our half court game, and we did that today, so it was nice to see.
McKinna, a question for you. You have recorded 15 points and 11 rebounds, especially like
Double machine.
especially after being limited to 2 rebounds against an aggressive BYU co-guys team this past Saturday. What improvements have you seen from this past game to tonight?
Well, it was a point of emphasis for sure at practice, rebounding, because we didn't want to get out rebounded again like that. So today night I was making sure that I was crashing every time, or blocking out, making sure my teammate got the rebound. A bunch of times Poa came in there and got it because me and Elle are blocking out. So just making sure that we cleared it out for somebody to get the rebound on our team.
And Coach, what part of your game plan tonight do you think you executed according to your plan, and what areas do you want to see a little bit more?
I thought this was a shrink game for us. So 76% of their points are scored near the paint. So we really had to do a good job of clogging gaps, especially for Harmon. I thought we did a really good job on her. I was proud of our effort. Moving forward, when we have runs of offense, we can't let down. We've got to find a way to, okay, if we've had some empty possessions, let's get a good possession. So that might not mean sending it up in a crowd. It might mean execution. So just the feel of the game, I think we've done a good job in practice of time and score, situation, 2-for-1s, what all that looks like. It's sometimes executing the game that's tough because there's a lot of outside energy, but for the most part, it was a good defensive game for us. Holding a team in the 40s is always a win.
After coming off a game in which you gave up the most points of the season in 71, to just come back and put up the second lowest total of the season, just what does that say about the resolve of the team as a whole?
Yeah, this is a special group, and I knew we were going to win this game 2 days ago, not because of records, not because of anything, but because of the look in their eye and how they had focused. Like, I knew we were ready. Like, I felt good coming into this game because of them. Not any other outside factor, but because how they approached the days after the BYU game. So, again, that's a testament to them and how they can come back and have some of that resolve and get to the next thing. And we always say 0-0. We're not focused on the 15 wins. We're not focused on 1 loss. We're focused on UCF. And now we're going to turn the page and we're going to focus on TCU.
Coach, now that the pressure of an undefeated season is kind of gone and you're a few games into Big 12 play, just what's kind of your feel for the conference so far, coming from the WAC, and just your general message to the team as the Big 12 games are going to get tougher and tougher?
Yeah, we were fortunate. We had a guest from the conference, Dana. She's here. She's in the back. Hi, Dana. So it's awesome to have the Big 12 kind of their support, and I've really seen a push to put a spotlight on women's basketball because these games are awesome. I just looked at some scores and some upsets today. It is any given night in the Big 12. And this game or the last game or the next one could have March implications. So we always say, play this game because it's going to matter. When it boils down to it, the next one will matter. And so, if this game was played on February 28th, we may be thinking this is our in game, this is our out game, this is a better seeding game, whatever that is. We have to have that mentality every single game in this league.
Coach, you mentioned obviously and playing defense, and I know you mentioned free throws tonight, but just in general, when you're forcing 5-second violations, and most nights this whole season it's been high free throw percentage. When little things when you're doing obviously the big things like that, but how much do you feel it frustrates a team just in whether you're hitting free throws or 5-second violations, shot clock violations?
Yeah, we're always going to be convicted to the defensive end, and that's where we're going to win ball games. So we have to be bought in to that side of the ball. We're also very connected on that side of the ball. We know if our shot's not falling, sometimes that'll happen. We know if the ball's not bouncing our way, sometimes that'll happen. We can control the defensive end because it is pure effort. So talking, communication, and this group knows that, and they've bought into it. So I feel pretty good about our defensive effort night in, night out. We started with defense, so I still think our offense is lagging a little bit and trying to catch up. But it'll probably always be like that. We'll probably always be ahead of the game on the defensive end.
53.2% from the field tonight. Shot selection was really good overall for the team. 40 points in the paint. How much of an emphasis did Coach Miller and the rest of the staff kind of implement in practices to just get shot selection where it needed to be?
I feel like we took some bad shots in the BYU game. We watched a lot of film the day after with Coach Glove, and he was showing us like where we were forcing things and where the open play was. So we wanted to make sure that we were making the right plays tonight and getting a great shot, not a good shot.
She's getting my Mollyisms.
But yeah, it was really important tonight.
How much pride do you guys take in being the team that outworks and just wears down a team? That's part of your identity as players. How much fun is that to be a part of? How does that fuel you guys on the court?
It's a lot of fun. I feel like our defense turns into our offense, and I feel like we get hyped when we get defensive stops. And we worked a lot hard on that in the summer, and I feel like we conditioned for that. So it's like it feels good to see all that hard work come to fruition, and we take a lot of pride in it.
Coach, were you, with the lack of perimeter shooting, neither team shot the ball well from three, but were you emphasizing pushing the ball in transition to make up for that?
Yeah, we did a lot of that in practice, didn't we? We wanted to, you put pressure on the defense when you can push pace, and we were yelling paint, because we want to get a piece of paint. In transition, you want to get a piece of the paint, then decision make from there. Whether it's a big stepping up, you can drop, whether it's a draw kick because they've collapsed in. So we did a lot of that kind of those decision making drills by just pushing it off a miss, even pushing it a make. So it was definitely a point of emphasis, and I thought, even Elle was running the floor and Poe was sending it to her. You had a good catch when Poe sent it in between two people for you, but it was good to see because we had practiced that. That's what a coach, board to court, prep to court, whatever it is, you want to see practice to court. And that was good for our team to see that we can be successful in transition.
Coach Tamaya Grace was in for a little bit, and
Yeah.
she was pretty effective for the time that she was in. Are we going to get to see her a little bit more throughout the season?
Yeah, this league too, you're facing all sorts of competition. There is some good fives in the league, and she could be a force, and she could help our team. And she gets better every day. She's a redshirt freshman, and so she's got that learning curve, but you can tell she's so likable. What an asset to this team, because she is one that is super positive. Whether she's played 2 minutes, 20 minutes, or 0 minutes, you're going to get the same TG. And you can tell by the bench reaction that they're just so happy for her and they're rooting for her. Just a great addition and a great person, and she has a lot of fans in this program.
You talk a lot about having improvements after both wins and losses. What's one improvement that you're researching for this next game against TCU?
You think Brackens, an improvement against TCU?
An improvement.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Moving on. I mean, I think for us, it's just fluidity on offense. When they go on a run, we've got to stop that run, but we've also got to continue to build offensively. And then we're going to be putting a lot of ball screens against TCU, so I'd like to see our ball screen coverage clean up a little bit. And against this league and a team like that, you can't just do one thing against the ball screen. You might have to mix up ball screen coverages, so we're going to focus a lot on that.
I have a question for you on the transition offense. When it gets going, when Poa she's going to run,
Mm-hmm.
what's the mentality for the rest of you to say, we got to get down there because she's coming?
Honestly, if she's going to get it up on the glass, we need to go get the rebound. Or if she's going to kick it out to one of the corners and the shooter, I'm just thinking I got to get a rebound. Because I'm usually trailing behind the play. If I got the rebound, I kicked it to her, I passed it in. So I feel like just get down there and try to get a rebound, or be ready for it to come back the other way.
A question I usually ask Coach, but I'm going to ask you, what have you kind of seen as one of the older veteran players on the team? What's been the biggest improvement from game one to now?
I feel like we've learned a lot about each other and learned how each other's played because we were a whole new team. So I feel like we're learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I feel like that's our biggest improvement, learning how each other plays and trying to put each other in the best situation to be successful.
Now heading into Sunday's road game against TCU, which deals to have a triple-double machine, Olivia Miles. I'm just curious, how do you look to take that approach, and especially facing one of the challenging, one of the best teams in the Big 12 conferences, who is projected to win a conference this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a twofer because it's a challenge and an opportunity, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready for that opportunity and the challenge, and I think we've learned Bracken said it best. We've learned a lot about each other through the course of a year already. And what I've learned about this team is they're going to be focused. They're going to lock into a game plan. We're going to go in there like we can win and believe that we can win. And we're going to do the things we need to do to win. And we'll be ready. We'll be prepped. Our assistants have always done great scouts, up until this point, so that won't change. And it's going to be an exciting challenge and opportunity for our team.
Very good.
What have you seen from Heloisa Carrera, especially like you have given her a pep talk
Yeah.
in the first half as well?
I will say, after the first half, if you're on a player, they can do one of two things. They can tuck their tail, or they can come back and say, all right, I'm going to try a little harder, and I'm going to take that coaching, and I'm going to go on the court, and I'm going to prove I can do some things. That was Elle. She had some bunnies that she missed, and I'm sure that got frustrating for her, and everyone were like, come on, Elle, you got to finish. And then she goes out and has 20. So her perseverance and her coachability, that is promising. And when you have players like that, then you can't count them out, right? They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're going to get back and get even, and that's what Elle did.
Everybody good? Thanks, gang.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.